Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and the Science Talks. Let's talk about an interesting space mission, Artemis II. You might have heard of this already. I'm a little bit late, but if you are coming from a biology background, this is also very fascinating for someone who is a biologist working on the cells in the lab and bacteria and things, looking at the human body, because the health scientists were very much curious to study the impact of microgravity and in where the gravity disappears completely as well. So what just happened actually in this mission, the humans sent this mission 250,000 miles away from the earth, far beyond the Apollo 13 as well. And here, if we are talking about this mission, we are not talking about the low earth orbit or maybe an international space station. This was in a deep space, and this was not about landing on the moon. It was just about testing navigation in the deep space, testing life support system, and also human survival beyond earth protective shield, because you know that we are not exposed to so much radiations coming from the sun, due to this protective shield around the earth. But if you go to the deep space, then you are exposed to these radiations. So they were checking these new capsules and new equipments, that how much this radiation shield is giving protection and what is the impact of this isolation, gravity disappearance, and the earth's magnetic field is not there, so what will be the impact. And importantly, this was not a national mission, it was a global mission, where the NASA from the US, European Space Agency, Canadian National Space Agency, and the Japanese Space Agency, and the scientists from Japan, they came together and they worked on this mission, and they contributed critically in the hardware capabilities. So space station from Bremen, Germany, where I am nowadays here, and I'm very curious to visit this center. It's near me, and I will be visiting it in maybe in a few weeks if I get the chance to. And this mission also reflects a cultural shift. A very diverse crew sent in this mission. Victor Glover, a first person of color, sent on this mission. Christina Koch, first woman to do so, and the Jeremy Hansen, a non-American astronaut, sent on this mission. So it was really diverse. It was a demonstration of new technology with the global partners. Now let's think like a biologist, because as health scientists were very curious to study the life in the outer space. Everyone now, you see that these news coming from the space agencies, they want to colonize the moon, and eventually maybe they will end up in Mars as well. Like, they are looking for life, and how they look for life, it's very interesting for me as a microbiologist, because they sometimes, if they go to Mars, for example, in the samples, they want to see this, they do the spectral analysis where they want to detect these gases and other derivatives which is coming from the microbes. So they are actually looking for bacteria there in the outer space, which is actually the blueprint of life, the water and in the bacteria and things. So we are also the part of these missions as a microbiologist and biologist, so we are not lagging behind. And if we think as a biologist now, why they want to study the life beyond the earth, because every cell in our body evolved under specific conditions like gravity from the earth, magnetic field of the earth, and also these shield from radiations. But if you go to the outer space, no gravity, no radiation shield, and no magnetic field of the earth, the things will be different, right? Now the interesting part comes, because now we are in the deep space biology. And the interesting one for me was avatar, which stands for the a virtual astronaut tissue analog response, which means that organs on a chip. What they did, they took some of the cells from these astronauts and put them on the chips, and they carried it with them in on this mission. Why? They wanted to study the radiation damage, inflammations, and the cellular adaptation. So if you have the whole human in the mission, and you have the some of the organs on the chip, which will give you a very personalized thing. So it's like a personalized space medicine for the future. Like, it can give you the data on individual cell level, because you have the cellular data coming from these chips. You can see the inflammation in the cellular level, exactly what is happening inside the cell. And it also opened the doors for us on the earth as well. When you better understand the impact of these radiations on the molecular levels, and we are using these radiations for treatment of cancer, then you can come up with maybe more better strategies for cancer treatment maybe you can modify something in these cancer treatment, these radiation therapies, and even improve how we study infections here on the earth. If we talk specifically as a perspective from the infection biology, then we see that the microbes become very aggressive in the space. They are also exposed to these radiations and these changes, so they may become very aggressive. Your immune system weakens, the host pathogen interactions can completely change. So we don't know how it looks like, but it's completely changed. We know that. And that means that space is becoming a natural laboratory to study infection. And what we learn in space doesn't stay in the space, it comes to Earth, because here we can then modify our treatment and our methods to study the disease progression, immune dysfunctions, and how to better protect human health. People are really interested to learn more and to test these new systems, and because everyone is interested to colonize Mars and moons and things, because the things here and the Earth, oh my God, the environmental change, the climate change, the environmental destruction and things. So they are making these humans to think of maybe another alternative space for them to escape from the climate change and global warming and things in the future. If it is unbearable, we see this shift is coming very aggressively. But unlike Apollo program back then, this one is not a one-time achievement, because now they are studying really, and they will be sending these missions again and again. This one is about the long-term presence on the moon and maybe eventually Mars. And also people are thinking about the infrastructure in the space, like a lunar gateway. Isn't it very interesting? And as a biologist, I don't see just rockets going back and forth. I see cells adapting, DNA under stress, and I see the fundamental questions popping up now. Can we, the life from the Earth, survive beyond the Earth? And Artemis II was the first real step toward answering this. This makes this mission one of the most important biological experiments of this era. I'm very curious about these scientific missions and things. I already studied astrobiology and how they, being someone who is studying microbes and infections and things, I'm very interested how these people look for the microbes in the space, the spectral analysis and things. And I'm also a learner in this field, so I'm learning, and maybe we'll be sharing more things, more about health things. I was studying about this mission on the Duke website, and I found someone. So here is the Dawn Elizabeth Bowles. Bowles, she is an assistant professor in surgery in Duke School of Medicine, and she also shared some of the comments on this one. You can find it on the Duke website, Artemis II mission and things. And she said that because she is working in this medicine and things, so from her perspective, from her comments, I came to know about these things. So in humans, the microgravity, which is in the low Earth orbit or somehow in the deep space as well, the microgravity or maybe the no gravity, causes the rapid fluid shifts and also the cardiovascular deconditioning within days. And the radiation in the outer space promote inflammation and damage the blood vessels. So this mission was all about the demonstration of new technology and a global partnership. You can study more about this mission on the Duke website and on the other websites as well. There are a lot of things, data coming from this mission nowadays. Every day they are waking up to something new and sharing things. So I'm also very curious about these follow-up steps, what they are going to do, how these changes in the whole body, how the changes in the cells will look like, because they will be sharing this data now from these experiments, and I'm looking forward to it. See you in the other video. Thanks.